Our love and passion for the outdoors started at a young age. This is something we have been dreaming about our whole lives. Uncle Steve, Tyler, and I are from Michigan and are known for our crazy adventures and stories. We have an unbreakable bond, one that has helped shape us into who we are today. And this is our story.
All right, so this week we are all packing up and traveling down to Kansas. Earlier in the year, I put in for my rifle tag and I got drawn. And once we got the units picked out that we were going to be hunting, we originally had set a game plan that we were going to go down there, do some cold knocking, get some permission, and hunt some private ground. Well, that didn't happen. So we're doing all this while we get there, one day before opening day of gun season. And we're down there, Uncle Steve and I are cold knocking. We get permission on a couple tracts of land, met some awesome people. And the first day we made a plan that we were gonna go and hunt walk-in property. And within the first 20 minutes of first light, we have an encounter with two different hunters, 100 yards away. I know everybody can relate to that because at some point in time in your lives, you've had that happen. And I've been in that situation multiple times. I know Steve has. And so we had that happen actually 2 times. And so we decided we're gonna start hunting that private tract of land. Right away, that night, that first night, we have an awesome encounter with a whitetail, and Steve and I are going back and forth, having a hard time communicating, and I've got a great shot at a really good buck, and then we wait for him to kind of come down and get a little bit closer, and a few things happen, and it was a little frustrating and kind of crazy at the same time. And then we had multiple encounters after that, and we were bumping around. We were going up in trees and sitting in the saddles or getting up into a tree stand. At some other points, we were laying on the ground in the middle of a cut cornfield because all the deer were flowing in there. Had just enough cover, you know, with a little berm in front of us to keep us covered. But it was crazy just thinking back on how many times we were going over here, going over there, climbing up in a tree, laying flat on the ground. But we were doing it all on our own, and it was mentally and physically hard. We hunted 7 straight days, just morning through night, and it was quite the experience for our first Kansas hunt.
What do you think, they're gonna come in here or something? $20. Here you go. Jump on its back.
It's not worth 20. Give me 500.
We got the permission.
For what?
To go hunting. A little emergency pit stop here. You doing all right?
Oh yeah.
Don't talk back to Uncle Steve.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now.
A little bit of a bloody nose.
Yeah, you're gonna get smacked again.
That's right. Do a better job next time.
So it is mandatory, if you ever come hunting with us,
It's true.
that you eat a peanut butter and jelly before every hunt. Peanut butter and jelly. It's gotta happen. It's a tradition of ours, and together right in front of your eyes.
Here we go.
Anyways, this is our first day in Kansas this morning. We went into some walk-in property, had an encounter with a couple different hunters. We got tucked in behind a hay bale, and then we ended up physically rolling another hay bale right in front of us to add a little bit of cover. But we wanted to get to a spot, another walk-in spot here, off of the main path with the CRP field water source, because the temperatures are a little bit higher, and that's exactly what we found. So we got the wind at our face right now. We're gonna get up high, get a little vantage point, and see what happens, right?
Yeah. Should be a good evening.
So, peanut butter and jellies first, though. Peanut butter jelly.
Trekking Outdoors is sponsored by Game Cuffs, Rutted Up Blinds, Domain Outdoors, and Built for Extreme Nutrition. This segment is brought to you by Domain Outdoors, food plot seed and minerals. This is your land.
All right, so it's day 3 here in Kansas, and we're finally going to hunt the private ground that Uncle Steve and I did some cold knocking and got some permission on. And we did a little bit of planning. We looked up on the map, and we thought we knew where we were going to sit. So it's a little tract of woods with a big cut cornfield, and we knew that they were funneling in there and feeding. Well, when we got there, we walked down, and we noticed that we were down in the ravine, and we didn't have very much visibility. So we looked over, and there was a big wood brush pile, and we dug ourselves like a little foxhole in for myself and one for the cameramen. And we sat there, and initially within the first hour, we start seeing does piling into the field. And then I'm sitting there with my rifle, and I'm glassing. I look over, and I see Steve glassing. And so I look up on the hill, and there's a barbed wire fence, and this pretty decent buck jumps over, and then an even bigger one right behind him. Definitely a shooter. And they start working their way down. Well, I have an opening of the size of like 2 80-inch TVs. And I got my rifle, buck's within range, 220 yards, and I'm looking at Steve, and we're going back and forth. At least I thought we were going back and forth, because I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, are you good? You got him on camera? Everything good to go?" And he wasn't responding. So I was like, "Hey, are we good? Are we good?" And we're going back and forth, and he's not responding to me. So I'm getting kind of frustrated, and I'm sitting there, and I'm ready to right when I'm about to shoot, Steve's like, "Oh, wait." So he finally starts talking to me, and he's like, he's going to pop out at the end of the finger. So I kind of thought the same thing too. But little did we know, once they went down that way, that the terrain just dipped down so much that we lost complete sight of them. So they ended up walking up the hill 340, 400 yards away from us. And then we seen another pretty big buck chasing a doe. And it was like, man, we have already hunted 3 straight days here. There was our opportunity, and we blew it. That's how I felt. I felt like we blew it, but we still have 4 days left. So we had to just pack up everything and then grind it out the next 4 days. So the very next day, we all climb up in a big oak tree, and the guys are in their saddles. I'm sitting in a tree stand, and we end up getting skunked. So now we're just like, all right, what's going to be the game plan for tonight? Because we know we got some high winds coming in. Well, we had a second piece of property that we had permission to hunt. And so we ended up going back and getting some lunch that day. And while we're sitting at the table in the restaurant, I told Steve, I was like, hey, let's go hunt that property. Well, Steve's like, well, I think maybe we need to go back to the cut cornfield where we had seen that big buck. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad idea too. And we're kind of going back and forth, and we decided to just flip a coin. We flip a coin, and it lands on what Steve called, so we go sit the cut cornfield. Meanwhile, I had put in earlier in the year my tag with some friends of mine from back home in Michigan, and he's down here with his brother-in-law and his father, and they had just got done hunting 3 straight days just like us, and they hadn't seen a single deer. So I tried to just be a good friend to him, and so I called the property owner on the second piece of property and asked if they could gain some permission to hunt there as well. And he said, well, I'll get back with you. Ends up calling back, says, yeah, go ahead, they can do it. So I called Connor, he's all pumped up, excited. I sent him a waypoint on the Onyx app, and he travels over there that night while we're hunting the cut cornfield. 1 hour into the hunt, Connor texts me and he goes, I just shot the biggest buck of my life. So here I am sitting there, and where I wanted to go, I had mixed emotions because I gave permission to, got Connor some permission to hunt that land, but it was also the spot that I wanted to go to. But, we made the ultimate decision that, we're going to flip that coin, and that's what we rolled with. Well, that's just how things go sometimes, And I, at the same time, was so happy for Connor. So we ended up going out that night, and we helped him track that deer, and being able to sit there and experience that moment with him, that meant so much to me, and I know it meant so much to him.
Trekking Outdoors is sponsored by Game Cuffs, Rutted Up Blinds, Domain Outdoors, and Built for Extreme Nutrition. This segment is brought to you by Game Cuffs.
Congrats, man. Thanks, man. No problem. That trailer blind right up there is where I was sitting. Where? That trailer blind. Okay. That was the first time I got to use my 308. I'm happy about that.
I'm happy for you, man. It's awesome. Do I get like a steak dinner or anything? Or at least steak and mashed potatoes. Come on, baby.
At least chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I could definitely do chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. You can
I'm
give me
only a car salesman, dude.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Go figure. Connor's gonna give me a Happy Meal.
Some of Chris's hair out the hardware.
First blood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Got him located. Look at that. There you go.
Nice Kansas whitetail.
That's a Kansas whitetail right there, boy.
That's how we came.
Congrats, man. Thanks.
Yeah, we seen that missing hair right there. I was wondering why that was gone.
Oh, he went through that fence.
Yeah, that's exit right there too.
Yeah. Big man. Yeah. Hold that thing up there.
That's what I can see.
Oh yeah.
He was raking a tree. You could actually see he got like a little pus of blood right there.
Let's see.
Yeah. Solid. Congrats, dude.
He has been fighting some.
Yeah, look at that neck on him. Before tonight, I had not seen a deer in the field.
How many guys does it take to get over a barbed wire fence? We're gonna find out. These Michigan boys are strong.
Let's see what Uncle Steve is up to. Third quarter.
Morning.
Third quarter.
We're gonna
try a new area again this morning and keep jumping around different spots and see what we can find. So I know they're out there. We've been seeing some, so just gotta find the right spot, the right morning, the right time, and put it all together and get this done. So here we go.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream for breakfast. 4:30 in the morning. It energizes your day.
All right, so day 5 here in Kansas. We've been hunting this property a couple different times. Usually in the evening, we started to notice that they're moving more in the afternoon, coming out to the corn and then going back to their bedding area. The wind shifted on us throughout the day, so we have to go down a fence row, and we're gonna be hunting on a thin little line of
Grass,
tall grass, and we're gonna switch it up today and just walk down the line, kind of where the wind's blowing, and we don't have any scent drags, so this diaper, we're gonna get some.
We're gonna tie a diaper to a
Just
string,
get some doe estrus on there, and just let
drag
her
it
go.
down the fence row.
These things are real great for absorbing things, so I think it's gonna hold the scent in there pretty well. What do you think,
Sure.
Alex? Do you think we're good?
Oh, I think diaper trick's working.
Yeah,
All right.
we're breaking out all the stops tonight. So.
Diaper boys and diaper bucks.
Let's do this.
Go.
It's getting pretty cold in here, so. That's because you forgot your gloves. He was just stretching it out. What are we hunting out of? This place is crazy. Old office building. Little storage container converted into an office. Into a hunting blind. But we did just have a big fat doe come running out right here and just jumped right over the fence. And then just ran that way. And then ran that way. There's a hunter sitting right over there. I think he got it. I think he got it too.
All right, so day 7 here in Kansas. It's getting to the wire, down to the wire here.
For sure.
So it is cold as whatever you want to say.
25 degrees with wind chills of close to 0. So,
so
should be some good deer movement this morning.
We're going into the timber tonight. We've been working the edges for a majority of the time we've been here. Got into the woods yesterday a little bit, but we're going in a little deeper today. So see what happens. We have been busting our tails. Hunting is not all of what it seems on TV most of the time. You know, you just go out there and hunt and kill a buck, and sometimes that happens. But this is day 7, and we are grinding it out here, and this is the real and raw side of hunting. When it comes down to it, this is.
This is why we do it.
This is why we do it.
All right, Lord. It's our last chance here in Kansas. We just appreciate everything you've done for us this whole week. Just had a blessed trip so far, and just this evening we just hope to have a blessed hunt, Lord. Just be with us as we get out there and keep us safe, and let all your critters run wild tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
This segment is brought to you by Rutted Up Blinds.
Although we weren't successful on harvesting a whitetail buck in the state of Kansas, at the same time, I'm super grateful and happy that I had that opportunity, and I was able to share that opportunity with some friends. And one of our good friends, Connor, got on a really nice whitetail, and that was awesome. That was an awesome moment to experience and share with him. But at the same time, we grinded out for 7 days, and that's just the raw side of hunting. And I feel like we're trying to be as real as we can and showcase as much of the real realities of what it's like being an outdoorsman, trying to do it on your own, and trying to hunt some of the most elusive animals that are out there. And whitetail, in my personal opinion, are some very smart, tough animals. And so at the end of that 7th day, we're packing up, ready to go home. And I was down in the dumps a little bit, but I remember looking at Steve and I was like, you know what? Looking back on it, we gave it our all. We did everything that we could. We experienced a lot, but next time we're gonna go back and we're gonna hit it just as hard, and hopefully we're successful the next time around. Traveling on the way home, I felt great. I felt like I still accomplished something even though I didn't harvest a buck. And I think that's part of being an outdoorsman. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in and following along on our adventures. Make sure that you tune in to watch us on Monday at 8:30 in the morning and on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget, you can shop our merch at trekkingoutdoors.com, and make sure to like us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.